Hello there, I'm Ted Spicagna. Today I am looking at what I consider to be one of PRS's most misunderstood guitars. Why do I say that? Well, it's kind of the most unique shape and configuration that they have. And frankly, like out at the shop I work at, it's one of our most returned guitars. And usually the reason is, well, I couldn't figure it out. And I understand that to a point, but only so much. So what is this? This is the S2 Vela semi-hollow, and this is the satin finish. Now this is like the metallic, pearl, white, something like that. There's a few other color schemes that are really cool. In fact, when you get it under the right light, I don't think it'll convey on camera. You can really see the metallic part of it. It like shifts to this really light blue almost. So it's a really fun finish. This is the lightest one that we ever got in stock. This one is 5 pounds and 1 ounce. It's ridiculous. Now, of course, a semi-hollow is going to be light, but good grief, man. So a few things that I like about it. I like how it balances. You would think that the offset lightness would have a lot of neck dive, but I've got nothing on it and it's sitting perfectly straight. This is completely mahogany, which gives it a really cool, like mid-range punchy tone. It cuts through a mix really well. I haven't totally figured out semi-hollow guitars myself, but I do like the sounds that I get out of this one. We have 2 pickups. We have the narrow field here, and it is not the deep dish. And then let me look up what this bridge pickup is, because I always forget exactly what it's called. I want to say it's like the DSO one. Yeah, it's the PRS DSO1, which on the PRS website, they refer to it as being like punky sounding, really kind of like bright compared to some of their other pickups like the 8515, 5815, etc. So we have the 2 pickups, 3-way switch, and then you can split this to be single coils. And I'll go through some of these sounds in a little bit. So now that first little intro piece I was playing was The End by Mammoth. It's a quick version I learned on my own the other day. That was completely bridge pickup going through an MXR 5150 overdrive, because why wouldn't I do that? Slightly different settings on each track just to spread it out a little bit. And just some reverb added to that track. So let's go through some clean settings now. I'll start on the bridge pickup. So right now I am going through my usual pedal board. So what you're going to hear is a JHS Morning Glory. I'll probably do the 2 settings on that. I have a Strymon Cloudburst set really low just for a little bit of reverb. I don't think I'll put any delay on it right now. And then I am going through a Strymon Iridium right now as my amp sim, because I've got a 4-week-old in the other room trying to take a nap with mommy. And then that's just on the round setting, channel A. So I was like, turned it on and went, because it's pretty good clean. And that's plugged direct into my UA Apollo, so not a whole lot going on. Let's cycle through a little bit. So quite a few clean tones that you can get out of that, especially with the splittable bridge. I really like that middle position split on the humbucker, on this humbucker, because technically this is a humbucker too. It has a nice balance of that attack but warmth from the neck position NF pickup there. Cool. What else to tell you about it? It's their steel plate bridge. It's kind of telly-ish, so steel plate with brass saddles. You can intonate them with these two different screws that are there, but I haven't had to do that. And it's top loaded, so it's really easy to restring. You don't have to go through the body for any reason. You can't, unless you break it. And then phase 3 non-locking tuners. They do have the brass posts. They're super lightweight. You can feel it, and they move very smoothly. So tuning's been really great on these. I just did a call recently with Jack Higginbotham, and we were mostly talking about the SE line, but he was talking also. Why is all my stuff shutting off? Sure. I was on a call recently, actually, with Jack Higginbotham, and we were talking about the SE lineup, but he talked about the materials and why they choose what they choose. And they do a lot of bronze because of the note that it creates. The example he gave is if you use like a lower, higher mass metal in the tuners, you'll go from a bong sound, and then when you go to this particular bronze alloy, you'll get more of a bing, and that it can even be self-lubricating if you oil it correctly. And then the same goes for the nut. They infuse the composite with a ton of bronze powder to get more of that transparency to come through the guitar, as well as the resonance. And it's no secret. I mean, if you watch any of Paul's videos, he talks about, the perfect sound is a vibrating string, and everything you add to a guitar can be subtractive from that sound. I think this is a really great example of that. Even acoustically, this thing is pretty loud, and it rings a really long time. I can feel all the notes in the neck of this guitar, which to me is a sign of a well-built guitar. Now again, this is all mahogany, semi-hollow, with the exception of the rosewood fingerboard, but you're not going to get a mahogany fingerboard. Let me think of what else to tell you here. Oh yes, this is one of the thinnest Paul Reed Smith necks I've ever played, with the exception of the SE Clio, but that's a signature thing, so I don't really count that. What do they call it? Pattern regular. It feels tiny, man. It doesn't feel like that to me. Oh well. 10-inch radius. It is strung with 10s as well. This is their satin nitro finish. Now, one thing that I have heard people discuss is the feel of the neck. Since it's this open pore satin finish, you can feel the grain there. That's something that the more you play this guitar, it's going to smooth out over time and feel more similar to something like the satin necks on the CE, as it smooths out and the oils and dirt on your hand kind of fill those pores. But it's not sticky at all. It's very comfortable. And like I said, you can feel the notes vibrating in the neck there. What else we got? I don't think there's anything else terribly interesting to tell you about it, or like that's not obvious, right? 4 different finishes. Again, this is the pearl white satin metallic. It's a really great guitar. This is one that at our shop, the Village Guitarist out in New Mexico, Cedar Crest, New Mexico, we were really excited to open it up, and they really met all of our expectation for what we were hoping it would be. Let's do some light drive stuff on it. Again, this is JHS Morning Glory, just nooned out. This is what I mean. It rings forever. I'll go over to the red channel of this and see. I haven't tested this level yet, so who knows what it's going to sound like. It's pretty touch responsive too, with a decent amount of gain going through it. So like I said, it's a pretty versatile guitar, and I think it's overlooked for that because it kind of looks weird in comparison to other PRS guitars. Now, does it look weird for an offset shape? No, I would say it looks less offset than a lot of offset guitars. But again, the balance is really great. The feel is exceptional. The neck is super thin, but it doesn't get in the way of any like fingerstyle stuff, as I played during those clean, that little clean section. Playing Barry Manilow on an electric guitar, hell yeah. Yeah, guys. So again, I think this is maybe, in my shop experience, one of PRS's most misunderstood guitars. I know there's some owners groups that I've perused on Facebook that I posted about that, and half said, absolutely, I love mine, and everyone else said, this is the most ugly thing I've ever seen. But, you know, someone thought I was handsome and married me and had kids with me, so I guess there's something for everybody when it comes to ugly. So again, this is the S2 Vela semi-hollow, and this is the satin finish. Now, if you want, check them out at thevillageguitarist.com. Now, this video I'm just kind of doing on my own accord. I did borrow this from the shop. This isn't like sponsored or anything, but you know, I work there, so I do benefit from people buying from the store. I just want to be fully transparent on that, but you know, no one asked me to do this video. I just wanted to. Anyway, so check out our shop at thevillageguitarist.com or on reverb.com as The Village Guitarist. I'm Ted Spicagna. You can find me on Instagram or here on YouTube. Let me know other stuff that you want to know about instruments like this. Again, I think most of the information is pretty readily available online, but it's different. It's worth it to hear people. A lot of this information is like readily available online, but I think everyone has a different interpretation of how a guitar feels. And sometimes it just takes that one person communicating something slightly differently than what you've heard over and over again from other presenters or people that you're just conversing with over time. And so I'm not saying that I'm specifically saying anything that you haven't heard already, but you know, it's like when you listen to a really long podcast hoping to learn something, and it's like there was only one nugget that you heard that was 45 minutes in, and it was like, oh, that changed the way I think about this thing that I heard over the last 3 years. So that's really what I'm going for. Just, you know, it's worth what you pay for. That, my opinion, that is. So I hope to chat with you guys in the comments or on Instagram or wherever we may come in touch, be that here or out at the Village Guitarist. Anyway, hope to talk to you soon. Yeah, I'm Ted Spicagna. Catch up later.